Hello, my name's Scott McGill, and I offer Skype guitar instruction sessions. And I've already placed one sample lesson up on fusion chords, and this will be my second one. And this one's going to deal with straight ahead jazz or traditional jazz chord melody playing. What I want to do is introduce a technique that I think might be novel and might be something that can really expand not only our chord knowledge, but also the scope of our chord melody arrangements too, and perhaps make them more interesting. I had the good fortune of studying with somebody named Dennis Sandole. Now, Mr. Sandole, I studied with him for 10 years. Mr. Sandole was the teacher of the great John Coltrane, James Moody, Benny Golson, Art Farmer, Jim Hall, Dale Bruning studied with Mr. Sandole, Pat Martino, and from what I've heard, a number of others like Randy Brecker and also McCoy Tyner. So Mr. Sandole was very influential in modern jazz, and he was one of the first that showed me this technique. In fact, his teaching made liberal use of this sort of thing, and that's putting the melody of a song or a chord melody arrangement in all the different voices. Normally, as guitar players, we put it in the top voice, which is great. It's normal because that's, we look at vocal range and we tend to view the voice part as the higher part usually, okay? But this will be putting the melody in all the voices of a chord. And I'm going to use 4-note chords. I'm going to use them only on the middle 4 strings of the guitar, which will be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th strings. And I'll just use the inversions of the chords. I'm going to start out with a standard that if you're a jazz player, you'll know this one probably. It's called All the Things You Are. I'm only going to do the first 4 or 8 bars, okay, for right now, and then extend it. But just to show you what I'm driving at. And so here would be the tune. I'm just going to do it again on the middle 4. I'll play the tune with the melody in the top note, or the soprano, okay? And you're all familiar with this. I'll keep going. So that was the melody in the top, okay? So I only used the inversions of the chords in the middle 4 strings. So for instance, F minor 7, I only used voicings that came from these inversions. Just, again, moving the chord tones to the next possible note. So here's the F minor, moving F to A flat, C to E flat to F, A flat to C, and so on. What this enables me to do is get all the different melody tones possible for a given chord. So for an F minor 7, I now have a voicing that has the 3rd in the top, the 5th in the top, the 7th, and the root as well, okay? And again, I'm just using the top voice on that, okay? And here's the dominant 7s. For instance, here's B flat 7. That was in there, so inverting that. What's nice about All the Things You Are, too, to start with, is there are only chord tones in the melody, so there are no extensions. And, of course, there are techniques for that, which we can go into later. But it's a nice tune to start with. It's a tune we all know. It's simple to an extent, okay? And it just uses the basic 3 chords, really. I mean, there's a diminished and a dominant and all, but in reality, it's only minor 7s, dominant 7s, and major 7s. Here's an E flat major 7 in the inversions. Okay, so that was the melody in the top. Now, let's find a way to keep the same voicings, but put the melody in the 2nd voice. So instead of on the top B string, and again, I'm using the voicings that are on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So instead of on the top B string, I'm going to use the same kind of voicings with the melody on the G string now. So I'm going to find an F minor 7 voicing. Since the first melody note is A flat, I'll find an F minor 7 that has an A flat on the G string. And a B flat minor 7 that has a D flat in the melody. You notice I'm favoring that melody note because once you put the melody inside, it's hard to enunciate it, and classical guitarists are expert at this. And their advantage is they get to use all the fingers, and we could do that too. You can certainly do this hybrid style. I'm going to try to do it the rough way and do it with the pick, okay? So again, A flat in the melody, but it's on the G string now. So find a B flat minor 7 now with an A flat on top. And the next tone is a G on an E flat 7. And then an A flat major 7 with a G, and then a C. Okay, and let's continue it. C minor 7 with an E flat in the melody. F minor with an A flat on the G string now. E flat in the melody, F minor 7, B flat 7 with a D in the melody, E flat major with a D in the melody, with a G in the melody. Back, A flat, major 7 with a C, D7 with C in the middle. Now watch this, this is nice. D, E flat to E, to D again, and then resolving to the B. So if we play that, what's nice about that is the melody tone is not the top note. So as we go lower, the melody gets further tucked in until it's on the bottom. So let's try it on the D string now. Let's try to find, we need an A flat in the melody on the F minor. So we need to find an F minor 7 voicing with an A flat on the D string. B flat minor with the D flat. B flat minor with the A flat. E flat 7 with the G, A flat 7, etc. You can see how I'm going with this. So I'll just sort of play it and nurse it along. Notice I'm leading with the melody tone. So you go here, and I'll go down. That's really nice. What's nice too is if you keep it all in one string family, I know it's a lot of working around, but you can enunciate the melody nicely. You can get these nice slurs, Hear that? It's going back. Etc. Here's the melody on the lowest voice. So I use the same kind of chords, put the melody on the lowest tone. That's really nice. I like that. Oh, that's really nice. Be very expressive with that. Etc. So watch this, and one more that shows you how to do them on the one species. But watch this, when I use really lower type of chords, like watch this, if I use chords that are that these species, these type of string sets, this sort of the second, third, fourth, and sixth, watch what happens. The effect of having the melody and the bass is even more pronounced. Watch this. I'll do it with these chords. So F minor 7 with an A flat and the melody, etc. You really hear it. It's almost as though the lower strings have a melody, like in an orchestra, like the basses, or in a horn section, trombone, or something like that. So to me, what's nice about this is it makes the guitar sound a bit more orchestral. It makes your chord melodies sound a little bit more interesting. You could skip around. You could skip from doing the melody up top, and then in the second part of the tune, you could switch it to something else. You know. And then. Whatever, you could move it in and out of the arrangement. It gets you to know all the voicings really well, but more importantly, it helps your interpretation, I think. You really get intimate with where the melody is on the strings of the guitar, how you can best enunciate those things and be expressive, and also make your arrangements a lot more creative. And I hope that helped. I really like using that technique. It's a bit challenging, so perhaps start out with 4 or 8 bars of a tune that you're very familiar with, as I did, and that way you can enjoy it a bit more. So I hope this helped, and please contact me if you're interested in doing some Skype sessions on guitar. I love teaching. I've been doing it for quite some time, and I have some excellent students from around the world. They're just amazing players. So please don't hesitate to contact me. I look forward to hearing from you, and take care.